Welcome back to Unscripted with Nompumelelo. It is an absolute privilege to welcome a powerhouse in South African business journalism, Liabo Setho, as a senior broadcast journalist and the anchor of a flagship show, SME On Point, on SABC News. Liabo has dedicated over 15 years to bridging the gap between complex world of microeconomics and the daily realities of ordinary entrepreneurs. Through SME On Point, she has created a vital platform that not only highlights the successes of small businesses, but also provides critical masterclasses on funding and policy. Her commitment to the sector was recently recognized when her show was honored with the prestigious YAER Enabler Award by the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute, celebrating its role in championing emerging enterprises. Liabo, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm
so
excited.
Honored that you accepted the invite.
Thank you so much. That intro alone makes me so nervous. Did I do all that?
That's you. That's all you.
Wow.
That's all you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Man, I was so proud when I saw you being presented with an award. I was like, this has been long coming.
Yeah.
In fact, there are platforms that I believe should have actually long been saying.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
This is me patting myself on the back because I think people just didn't know how to honor me or thank me. And maybe may have given people an idea, but I think we worked hard to create a platform that we have created from the first day when I conceptualized it. And I could tell that even in the newsroom, people were looking at it in the newsroom, on TV, and they were thinking, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And the consistency to do it. I never imagined that it would be where it is now. I knew that it had potential, but I did not imagine the kind of lives it would change. Everywhere I go, I could be. The other time I was in hospital and fetching my mother there, and the guys that are pushing trolleys, when he saw me, he says, this was SME.
And your heart was like doing what?
Every day my heart is warm. And I thank God that, he chose me. There are days where I want to give up. I don't want to lie to you. There are days where I'm thinking, enough. I think it's sharp. And that's the day he says, I get you. But so-and-so needs to be featured. We'll complain later. Let's get the work, do it now.
Do the work. Yeah. And you started this platform how many years ago?
It was in 2016 in June that I started it. When I started it, I had come back from a story. In fact, I was collecting interviews. It was the quarterly labor force survey, I think of the second quarter that I was covering at that time. And once again, the unemployment had gone up. And for some reason, I was so frustrated that I tell the same story every month, every quarter. I tell the same story. If it's an improvement in employment creation, it's quite marginal. And at that time, Thandeka Qubulembeki, she was my editor. And during our briefing at the 2:00, and I said to her, Sister, can I do something? I keep on telling these stories of unemployment and they're really frustrating me. Can we change how we use our platform? How about we tell people stories of people that look like them, who are doing simple things that make them put bread on the table, that change the smaller parts of their lives into something bigger. And luckily, to have a decisive boss is also a blessing.
Absolutely.
She did not even flinch. She said, I want it on air on Friday. That was Tuesday. She said, I want it on air on Friday, and your first show should focus on family-run businesses in the township.
Like that?
Just like that.
Wow.
Who did she say it to? She said it to me. I knew exactly where I was going to start. I went back home to Vosloorus, and I went back to the Smelani shop This is a spaza shop that has been there when we first got to Vosloorus in 1989 in April.
Liabo.
And I wanted to tell the story because I was served by their grandmother and their mother, and now them. And the spaza shop is still operational, even in the midst of foreign run businesses. They are still standing. And I needed to tell the story of where I come from first, a small business that built me, where I bought my chips, where I bought my Vaseline, where I bought everything that I needed at home. And I needed to tell their story first. And that's how SME on Point. In fact, when we started, I was still battling with the name. I think at first I called it, because the show then was not on point. It was
something else.
Yeah, it was something different. So I went through the journey of trying to find a name that matches with the fact that I was working for a business show at that time. That was always the vision, that within a very serious business show, we should still be able to accommodate people who want to do small businesses. So I played around with different names, markets, this, markets, that, small business, this, small, until I finally found SME. And someone said, why are we not doing it as SMME on Point? I'm like, there's too many MMs. I just wanted to roll smoothly in someone's tongue, and we did SME on Point. Lerato from graphics was gracious enough. I didn't even know her that well at the time. She jumped to help me create the logo, which still has not been changed, by the way. I had a lot of video editors, so my own colleagues played a big role in making sure that the brand comes alive. Nompumelelo, who is a brother now and a friend, every Friday he sat with me after the show to review what worked, what didn't work. Sometimes he'd say, "Ish, no, today's intro looks like it was our perfect wedding." No. Okay. So it was a lot of refining. I wonder what
you'd say about today's intro.
Right? So it was a lot of perfecting every weekend, trying this, trying that, until I got the formula that I think worked. And what it was is to keep it simple and short. The people I am targeting are people who are running businesses or aspire to run businesses. They don't have time to watch TV for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They've got things to do. So 12 to 15 minutes is enough. Yeah. They want quick. And you put it at the right time at 1:30. Right? And because we are simulcast, we are both on SABC3 and on 44 at the same time. So you get the best of both worlds. So that resulted in us getting even what we call appointment viewers. They're people who just tune in at 1:30 just to see.
Just to see
what we are doing. They're not necessarily interested in the news or anything like that. They just want to see, what are we doing? Who are we featuring
so that's
at the time?
That's what you call us, appointment viewers. Okay, viewers, I'm one of them.
Thank you for me. We appreciate it.
No, that's, we've jumped into this story now. I mean, so my first question was, and I'm going back to my first question.
Sure.
For people who only know the professional version of you, take us back to the beginning. Take us back to Vosloorus.
Sure. Can I even go a little bit further back?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I was not born in Vosloorus. I was born in Orlando
right.
East. I was born in a 2-bedroom shack. And we lived there until I was about 6. But I always want to clarify this, because I know that when someone says, people assume that you were poor. No. The story was different. And in fact, I still feel that it's because people are living in the shacks doesn't mean that they're poor. They could have issues, maybe like my parents did, when it comes to accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my father came to South Africa from Lesotho in 1963.
Okay.
Right. My mother is from here. So they got married, their children, I'm the last of 4. My father obviously did have a job. He was working at Sage Computers then, but could not qualify for a home loan at that time because he was not a naturalized South African. He was still going through the process. So there was a relative that he came with from Lesotho who owned a house and allowed him to build a shack at the back
room.
And my mother worked in retail, in Eastgate, in fact. Then it was called Hyperama.
remember.
It was this color.
Yes, it was that color. I remember.
It was this color.
Hyperama.
Yes, my mother worked in Hyperama. My father worked at Sage Computers. And now when I think back, my father actually started the side hustling thing a long time ago because he had a Kombi, an E20.
E20.
Yes, he
I
had an
remember
E20.
those.
It was a blue and white one, right? So on his way from Orlando to Sour Street, he took people who would pay him, and this makes up for fuel money.
And then he
And
just
transports
dropped
them back
off.
and just
Yeah.
drops them off. My mom, because she's working in retail, she has access to products and things. She buys things at a discount and sells socks and sells makeup and sells this.
So this entrepreneurship thing
It didn't click until much later, actually, because entrepreneurship typically has a face, right? We never really think about other forms of side hustling and entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
So that is where I grew up in a very warm home, yet very strict Basotho household, where, you know, your voice as a child is limited. But I was fortunate because there's a very large age gap between myself and my siblings. You know, I was taken to very good schools, although there was still a generational gap between my parents and I because I was also an oops baby.
Okay. Oops.
I was an oops baby. So there was a large gap. So sometimes, you know, there would be conflict in terms of them understanding me and me understanding them. You've taken me to these schools that preach independence.
Yeah. So now
when you get
now
home,
I bring the independence
at home,
Yeah.
in whose house?
Yeah.
In my father's house. In my father's house. But nonetheless, they were very supportive. So we moved to Forster's in 1989, and then I went to school for about a year or so there. Then I moved to multiracial schools. Then they were called up until I got to matric. So when I got to grade 10, remember I said my parents were old. By the time I got to grade 10, now they're not working, they're on pension. Someone needs to take care of me.
Oh my goodness.
Luckily, my sister is now at TUT in Soshanguve, and she's met a very nice man who has, unfortunately, they've had a child early, but they're good. And he takes care of me with my sister. You know, it was very difficult. You know, they're trying to run their own household, and here's
And
me.
then there's you.
Yeah. So there's that, but through their support, I did it. I went to matric, and they're like, girl, I know you want to go to Rhodes and everything, but TUT offers journalism. So that's where you are
So
going.
it's always been journalism for you?
Only journalism. I've just recently changed course now. That's studying something that's not media.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a very warm home, very structured, rules. Every home has its own challenges, but I grew up fine, loving home. I've had friends that I still have, friends that I've had since when we started in Phosphorus. We're still friends to this day.
Today.
So I'm the kind of person that keeps friends over a very, very, very long time. Yeah.
So if I had to speak to a childhood friend about the Liabo then and the Liabo now, what would they say?
Very different. I was quite rebellious.
Okay.
Yes, I know I shock a lot of people. Sometimes I shock myself too. I was a very rebellious teenager, and I only realized in my 30s why that was. There were a lot of traumas that happened. And when I say traumas, I mean deaths around me from when I was young. My sister, the second of the four of us, was someone that I was extremely close to, and she died when I was 14.
Oh, man,
I was 14, and she died 2 months after I had had a near-death experience where I was hit by a car. So while I was recovering, my sister was sick, and here I am. I've been, my face has been changed. I've got a scar on my head, got a scar under my eye. I've got a scar on my left because of the hit and run that happened. And just as you're recovering from that, the most precious thing in your life goes.
It's taken away.
It's taken away from you. And unfortunately, at that time, Mpumi, when there's a death in the home, and there's a young child, people forget about
Oh
this
no,
child.
absolutely. I mean, how to be next? You
Yeah,
don't know what's
people are
happening.
busy, and everyone is busy with their grief.
Yes.
And because we just don't have a culture as Black people of looking at grief in a different way, you forget about this child, and this child is really going through it. And when I look back and went through therapy, I realized this is where the source of my rebellion came from. But we thank God that, my mother sister was there, and her husband, and they really held my hand, and I was able to finish school. If it was not for them, I would probably still be living at home, most likely not working, if not working maybe another job. I would most likely be, I don't know, my life would be different from if it was not for my sister and her husband, who took a huge responsibility of guiding a teenager.
Yeah. And the thing with such a responsibility, it's not a 2 months thing that you take a break,
No. It's imagine from 16 years old up until you get to matric, up until you go to first year, second year, and third year. And things are tough all around. My father is starting to get sick. He's going back to Lesotho. My mom is in Lesotho. So it's a bit of a mess. But in the midst of all of that, I still managed to finish my diploma in journalism at TUT in Soshanguve.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we don't take time to reflect on where we come from. Our stories, and those stories shape who we become.
They do.
You are this person because of
absolutely.
Of
I honestly give credit to my sister and her late husband. In fact, more so him, because he loved my sister so much that he loved her with her little sister. He had sisters of his own, but you could never tell between us who belonged to who, because that man, he's the one, by the way, that decided that I'm going to do journalism. I wanted to be an accountant. And he said to me, no, you're not going to become an accountant. Your personality is not that of an accountant. You are going to become a journalist, and I'm going to take you to TUT. You are going to register. He held me by the hand. No, when I said literally, he held me by the hand and took me to TUT and registered me and made sure that I have everything. And my sister made sure that, whatever they had, they shared it with me at that time. I think in my third year, I had started working. Even where I worked at the SABC, he's the one that made sure that go apply, go find people that you can share. It was him this whole time. This is how much he loved her, because I needed to be okay for her to be okay. Do you understand? And
do we still have men like those?
I hope there's still men like those, because now he's an angel.
Yeah, that's your brother-in-law.
That's my brother-in-law, yes, the Bohojwala.
That was painful.
The Redwater executive that was unfortunately assassinated.
That was painful.
It was. It has been very difficult. And he's the one that also decided that there aren't enough Black women doing financial journalism. That's what I want you to do. And I was like, yeah, but in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I want to do Solima Twinsi kind of journalism. But because I wanted to do the Tugu kind of journalism. And because I respected him, I said yes. But in my heart, I said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
What am I doing today?
And look where you are. He had such foresight.
He had exceptional foresight. I think when someone is placed in your family as an in-law, it's important to recognize that they're not just there to add to the number of the family members, but they could be there to change the fortunes of the family, which is what that man did in my family. Through him loving my sister. Because remember, he did all of this because he loved her.
Yeah.
But he took his role as a son-in-law so seriously, it was scary. He really took care of us right to his last day.
Sure. So, Liabo, if you don't mind me asking,
Sure.
how's your sister?
My sister is getting stronger. She's really getting stronger, but it has turned her life and that of her children upside down. Because remember now, the force that I'm talking about, that is her husband, that not only had an impact on me and everyone else who knew him, you can imagine, on them and the kids. But God is always gracious in that when you come to pay your condolences and you pray for someone, we have seen firsthand what those prayers do. And my sister and I talk about it all the time, and she says, Liabo, those people that prayed for me, I could feel the strength every day to keep going. And I'm so grateful that grief is different. I may never know what it's like to lose a husband. I'm seeing it through her. But I also see the strength of prayers. I see the strength of support and what it does for a person in that state. I'm glad to report that she's getting stronger.
That's good.
She's getting stronger.
I'm happy. That's comforting, because I remember when the story broke, and I remember reaching out to you, and I knew you were just, even how you responded, and the one word that came to me was grace. And I didn't even know about your history with your brother-in-law and the impact he's had on your life. But you took time to respond, although your response was not a Liabo response. And I could tell, and I just knew this was home, but I didn't know the
how
extent.
Deep it was. It was quite deep. It was quite deep. If I'm an in-law and I feel the way I do, if you are close to me, you would have understood what that they did to me. But imagine his own siblings, his own direct family, and how they feel, how they've felt and continue to feel. But we soldier on. We soldier on.
Look, wherever he is, he looks down on you, and all the other people whose lives he's touched and changed, and he's like, I did that.
I don't doubt that for a second. I don't doubt that for a second. There are things that are happening now. I know my sister would have told him, Liabo, Ulora got a podcast, and he would have called to want to know the details. What is it about?
Oh my God.
He was that person, ever present in everyone, even his friends. He was present to his friends as well, which is why you find his closest friends, they still go to court to this day.
So I know a one of his closest friends. Who the moment the news broke, I mean, I saw one of your posts, and then he mentioned it. I'm like, I actually know Liabo, and I saw she posted, I don't know what relation that is, and that's when I reached out. But every day they were going, every day until the burial. They were going, and you know, a person who never talks about prayer, but says, no, we go to see the wife and kids and the family, and we pray. And I could see how touched he was.
Bumi, you needed to meet him. You needed to meet him, and you would never, ever forget him. I'm sure if you reached out to colleagues at Rand Water, they would say exactly what I'm telling you. You can go to Lesotho, where we come from, they'll tell you the exact same thing. And I am so happy that I get to share with the world about who he was. If I had been given an opportunity at that award ceremony to say something, he was definitely going to feature.
Oh man, may his soul continue to rest in peace.
Amen. May it continue to rest in peace.
Oh man, that's why I'm asking you. Like, are there men like him left? Because if there are, please send one my way.
I remember that.
So, okay, let's get to the other bits,
Sure.
right? Given your extensive experience,
Yeah.
You've witnessed many shifts in the South African economy and the media landscape. How has your personal vision for your career evolved over the years? And I mean, this was not your vision, but it's your vision now.
Yeah.
And you have to carry this vision proudly so because of the story that you've just shared.
Absolutely. But I'm fortunate in that I'm in the forefront of being able to get the data, the research, having access to experts and understanding the economic landscape, where it's heading, where it comes from. And I've seen that we need to build a very strong entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. And that's where my next is going. Right? Yeah. Because I've traveled the world and I've seen what entrepreneurs do to change the economies of the country. Right? Of course, people know this. That is not government that provides jobs. They create an enabling environment to do so. And I feel that if we are given a chance to create more than we consume, to have stable systems and processes, to have electricity, to have water, to have policy that's actioned and enabled, to have things working. We can have a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem, and that is where I have seen the change happen, and I would love to see the change not only for myself but for everyone around me, so that we always think side hustle, we always think, but more on the creation side, right, more than on the consuming side. So I think there's a lot of power, and look, there are small changes happening, through the Department of Small Business Development, through organizations, private sector organizations that have their own enterprise supplier development programs. And those are important and need not be done as a tick boxing exercise, but ones that they must really follow through with their courts and see, we've helped Liabo to establish this. Where exactly is she going with it? And help her succession planning as well. When she's not here, what's going to happen to her legacy? Because I've noticed that the failures that there are in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, we are creating businesses that don't last, that don't outlive the founder. Once the founder gets ill, there's a major shift in their lives. That's it. That's it. That's the end. That's the end of it.
Sure. When you speak about companies, private companies, and enterprise and supply development programs, I've found that most companies, it is just that, a tick box exercise, where they just put a budget aside and say, let's put together, no thought that
just
goes
for compliance.
into it, just for compliance, so that we can claim BE points and that's it, and not really going to the core of understanding what are the challenges that are facing entrepreneurs, to a point that when you now know the challenges, then you can structure your program
so much more differently. Yes, you're right, because a lot of them are kind of standard and they're the same, right? They're quite standard and they're the same, but the businesses that are coming up, they're not the same, right? And you need to have programs that are flexible, that are able to accommodate different types of businesses. But most importantly, that ensures that businesses grow. Because it's easy to start a business. If you have capital, if you have an idea, you can start. But how do you move forward? How do you become a business that really employs people for the long term, even if it's 2 people? How do you give that person a stable job?
Income. Yes. Because those 2 people, behind them, there's 10
other people
that they look after.
Precisely.
So that's 20 people that are taken care of by 2 jobs alone.
Yes.
And some even stretch their rents even further than 10 people.
Correct.
Wow. Yeah. So your show has really become a significant resource for entrepreneurs. Look, I watch it because the stories there are so inspirational.
Yeah.
I mean, I see young, I see old, and I see potential in myself.
Sure.
So when I see those faces, I'm like, Mpumi, this is you tomorrow.
I'm glad it does
You
that.
know, this is you tomorrow. And with that little flicker of a flame that says, I can also do it, because we can see that government cannot solve our problems. We can see that. And yes, we were not raised as entrepreneurs, particularly in the Black families.
Yeah.
Starting businesses, I mean, it's few and far
In
families,
between,
right?
Yes,
That-
the Smelanis.
Yes, the Smelanis of this world that started from there, and they're still holding
going
it down
on.
even today.
Yeah.
But some of us, we just
Bringing
born out
it-
of being consumers.
Yes. And you know what I've seen, Mpumi, is that because we don't have structured entrepreneurial understanding, not even understanding, or education, this is where a lot of the failure comes in.
Yeah.
Because I have encountered entrepreneurs that have made it their business to get a course, a degree, or a short course on running a business. And I can tell you that those that I have encountered, they seem to have a far better success at keeping the business alive for longer than 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And how they interpret the environment, how they adapt to that, how they adapt their offering is much more different than those ones that do it because there's no job.
Yeah.
Which I also like to refer to accidental entrepreneurship. Right?
Yes.
It can be good, it could be bad.
It could be bad.
But
as
we
well.
need to get to a point where there's some sort of compulsoriness that's needed for one to have some sort of education, business education, because at least it ensures that you go a little bit further than you would have if you did not have. There are a lot of things that I learn every single day about running business through people, through reading, through my studies, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. Simple things like reading books about entrepreneurs who have done really, really well.
Yeah.
And how they've done things differently.
Yeah.
That changes your perspective, right?
Yes,
and
yes,
it
yes,
makes you look
definitely.
at your business in a different way, not always looking at sales, right? You want sales.
Yeah, but-
Okay, yeah, you want sales, but you also want network, you want connection, you want collaboration.
Because those become sales tomorrow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So these are the things that SME on Point has taught me.
Yeah.
I didn't know them when I started.
Sure.
I'm learning through the hundreds of entrepreneurs that I interview every day, and what makes one successful.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful journey to be on, I must say.
Yeah. So when you speak about accidental entrepreneurship and those that actually seek out to educate themselves and develop themselves as entrepreneurs, I think for me, it just means that you need to be intentional. So when you get into a space, you need to be intentional to seek out the education and say in the information, I want to learn.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then chances of you not surviving after 5 years are very
You're right.
huge.
Remember when just a short while ago, we spoke about how ESDs need to be flexible. Imagine if the same ESD included some sort of 1-year course, a higher certificate of running a business as part of you being accepted into their course. And this, because it halves the work for them. To say, we will sponsor you, we will give you a scholarship to do a higher certificate of SMME development or entrepreneurship studies for 1 year. And that way we get a lot more people getting this education that we all need, right? And faster.
Because I suppose when you're an SMME, the money that you have, you put it in the business, and going for a course may not seem like you putting money into
in the business,
right?
Yes.
So that's the last thing you would think of.
Of course. Yeah. And it's a vital investment in yourself.
In yourself.
Because even if should the business not work out, you would have learned something that you can transfer to someone else at a cost.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I know that you're also involved with women empowerment. I think women empowerment is just one of those things. You, women empowerment like this.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because it is women that contributed to my growth and continue to contribute to my growth. When I met you, I was still a very young reporter.
How many years ago?
Many years ago. I was still skinny for me.
Oh my gosh. You used to run.
Yes, run at stories. Now I'm like, no. The cameras wait. It is women that contributed to my growth, starting obviously from my own mother, my sisters, aunts and uncles. When we talk about people who contribute to our growth, people tend to want to think of who gave you money. No.
Yes.
Who gave you an ear when you talked about that idea that never materialized, but they heard you.
But they heard you.
Who said, I've got a blouse for that interview you are going to. That is where the love for women empowerment
comes
came
from,
and still is. When I start a lot of projects that I do, I like to try this and that and that. It is always women that come through. For me, someone who says, it's fine, I will make sure that you've got cool drinks. I will make sure that I'll bring that. I'll bring that. My love for Stockfells.
Yes.
Through women.
Yes.
My love for Stockfells. Through women. So I have no choice but to be a woman that empowers the ones below me, because I know how women contributed to who Liabo is today and still do. I look up to so many different women, right? Not just one. There's one where I think the day I'm ready to lose weight,
that's the one I'm going to. The day when I need this.
The day when I need this, and the day that I need someone to tell me the truth about myself. You know where you're going. I believe in the power of having a tribe, Mbomi.
She's like,
and the tribe may not necessarily be the people that are the same group of friends. I have a tribe of different people. There are people
from
who
different
hold different areas of my life. People who hold me accountable on a personal note as a parent, as a daughter, because now you are at the age where you are taking care of your parents. So you need someone to hold your hand there, and who says to you, "Have you checked on your mom lately?"
When was the last time you spoke to? Yeah. So I love the concept of a tribe. Not only a concept, but just how tribes are.
Yes.
Because you look out for each other. And it's so true. As we grow, you actually realize that you don't need to have your people here. You can have 10 different people who don't even know each other, but they fulfill a certain need in your life.
So necessary. It's not funny, because you can think that you have it all figured out. But when something happens in your life, whether it's good or bad, you need people to celebrate with and who understand what the celebration means and what's next. And people, when things are not going well, people who will hold your hand and we say, Askis. So
I understand.
We get it.
So
we get it. And also, you still need the same tribe that will speak and sponsor you behind your back. When you do not even know that they've mentioned your name in the rooms you know nothing about. When there's a meeting happening in Kuruman somewhere, and they say we need someone that's excellent as
Liabo.
an MC. And the person who will say, please call Liabo, tell her I referred you.
Oh,
she's your
man.
girl and I
Yeah.
have trust in her. And you're able to show up.
And you get a phone call.
Yes.
They say, oh, hey.
Exactly. And you are
Yeah.
able to send the lift down.
Yeah, that's important.
You should be able to send the lift down. Because someone has uplifted you, who have you uplifted?
Yeah.
Who have you sponsored?
You must always pay it forward.
Pay it forward, send the
Always.
lift down.
Yeah, send the lift down so that someone comes up.
Yeah.
Okay, so in your view,
Yeah.
what are the top 3 tangible actions that the government could implement right now to better support SMMEs?
Firstly, to be a little less stringent on compliance. Okay. As it is, SMEs have it quite hard. Yes, they need to be compliant, but there could be a set of different rules for small businesses.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you cannot be governed in exactly the same way that a business that is much more bigger than yours is.
Yeah.
Even with the tax rules, they could be different for small businesses. That would make such a huge difference, right? We saw during COVID about how there was a very low uptake of those relief funds simply because a lot of businesses were not compliant.
The forms, the requirements.
Absolutely. Secondly, I think that paying off suppliers on time. You have so many businesses that have gone down under because those who do business with the government are not paid on time. There should be an enforceable rule. I know that the city of Johannesburg and the city of Cape Town, they're trying with different programs to make sure that people are paid within 30 days.
Yeah.
And I think that it could be done faster, it could be spread, because if a business is going to open and within a year it's closed because it was relying on the payment from government and it didn't. And then lastly, to make compulsory from primary school to have entrepreneurial studies.
Sure.
Make it compulsory.
Yeah.
Public schools, especially in public schools, because in private schools they're already there.
Yeah.
But make it compulsory that we all know, whether you may not want to be an entrepreneur, but know at least how it functions.
The basics.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
basics.
Those are my top 3.
So the first one is a real issue. Where I work, we have an enterprise and supply development program.
Sure.
Every time we speak to SMMEs, that's the issue. That's the issue. We don't get paid in time. And luckily we were flexible. The business was flexible enough to say, okay, we look at a cap in terms of the size of a company that you are. And when you pay, what companies may not know is that when you pay your SMMEs within 15 days, you get points.
Yes.
When you do
your triple B scoring.
You get points. So who would not want to get points by just having efficient systems and making sure that you pay your SMMEs earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that kills SMMEs. And it's not only government, but it's also corporate.
Yes, you're right.
Just relax and
I mean, you can amend your rules to say for smaller businesses of this, a turnover of this to that, we can make the payment 15 days.
There's a way. Put a cap. I think I always say that where there's a will,
there's a way.
There's a way. And I do feel that perhaps we don't have leaders that actually appreciate the impact that SMMEs will have on the South African economy.
Yes.
And when you're sitting in a big corporate company, it's so easy for you to look down and say,
empower small businesses.
Yes. Oh no, you sign a check, you put it there, and it's that's your contribution, and that's enough.
Yes,
that should be enough. In fact, sometimes you find people feeling that, but we do more, and you actually thinking, actually you're not. If you could change some of your rules,
you could do even better.
You could do even better.
But look, we are learning every day, I think, as a country. We are not where we were 20 years ago. Definitely not where we were 30 years ago. There is movement. One can argue that it's small, it's a slow movement, but there is movement nonetheless. There are countries where entrepreneurial development does not even exist, right? So we should also maybe give grace, to ourselves as a country, that, we have a constitution that allows, for people to start businesses. We have laws that are functioning, and we have relative freedom when you compare us to other African countries.
Yeah. And I mean, when you look at the number of SMMEs, I think the sad part becomes those that don't make it, after the 5-year mark, and then that's it. But people are innovative in South Africa. People are thinking outside the box, and South Africans are the most creative people I know.
Listen, speaking about businesses that closed their doors, I once featured a guy he had a shop in Braamfontein, and he was making spinach bread.
Spinach bread?
Yes.
So bread that was green?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Spinach bread. The business doesn't exist anymore, but I thought that was great.
Oh.
Right? And some of the innovation, there's a spinach, you see it at home, called tepe. I'm not sure what it's called in English. There's an amazing entrepreneur, Ricardo, who's doing canned spinach, and his product is at a fruit lovers market. And I love it. I buy it.
Wow.
I love it.
I look out for it.
I love it. It's called morojo.
Morojo.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's Coco Morojo. Yes,
Okay.
Coco Morojos.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it really tastes just as great. He's got a couple of hectares of a farm out in Brits, and that's where he's planting this type of spinach, and then he's canning it afterwards. And he's found a market in Food Lovers Market.
And I'm sure people buy it. I'm going to look out for it.
Please do.
I will. You've spoken a lot about turning on-air blunders into moments of connection.
Yeah.
So in live broadcasts, perfection is impossible, as we know, because anything can go wrong.
Yeah.
But you handle mistakes with such grace.
You think?
I believe so.
Thank you.
I believe so. I
Thank
think
you.
unless someone is looking, they will not see. If they're not looking, they will not see.
I believe in no perfection.
Yeah.
I believe in authenticity. Okay. And I also say this when I'm asked to give media coaching to entrepreneurs or even executives. This is what I do when I'm not listening. And I always say to people, when I'm watching you on TV, I want to see you.
Yeah.
Okay. When people speak, they go and it's normal.
So go
Yes, it's normal. Look, maybe I'm different. Maybe there are people who think that no ways I will not do that, but I don't believe in perfection.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's me. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
So I will make mistakes on air and I will laugh them off.
Yeah.
Right? Because one, I am not speaking to cameras. I'm speaking to people. People who understand that one makes mistakes and that need to understand that I'm not an AI robot.
Yes.
It'd be lovely
You're
if I were.
a human being.
I'm a human being. So I will stumble over my words. I will get the pronunciation wrong. I will sometimes not follow instructions, the auto cue could sometimes just stop and I have to fiddle with my phone because
you have to make it work.
Make it work or ad-lib and try to ad-lib and say, oh yeah. But and I think we all develop our personality on air personality about how you want to be known. I just want to be known as Diabo.
Yeah. I love that. I love that about you because you speak about it. That look, I want to be authentic and I don't believe in perfection, particularly because I'm not speaking to the camera, I'm speaking to people.
To a human being.
I love that.
Yes,
I love that.
I don't like perfection.
But Diabo, your career is a kaleidoscope of extremes. One day, you are with heads of states in Switzerland.
Yeah.
The next day you are in the dusty streets
Yes.
of Soweto. Going to interview entrepreneurs. And you sit in these big meetings, Davos, where they talk, the World Economic Forum. You hear what the leaders are saying, and then you go and you interview a person. I mean, how do you make the switch? You've now moved from this where you had to be yourself, but also present a very business-like, and then you go there to Soweto. How do you reconcile the two?
I'm sure you can tell that authenticity is a big thing for me, right? Okay. So even if you find me in Davos, you still find the girl from Vosloorus in Davos.
Oh my word.
Okay.
Please take me with you next time.
Because whatever is spoken about in those Alps and the snows, and it's beautiful, and you're meeting people who are worth billions of rand, you need to come and communicate it to the people in Vosloorus.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your job. Your job is to take what has been spoken about there, break it down so that it makes sense to the people on the ground. Okay? Tell them that in that meeting, they said they want to give you guys money. Right? And also encourage them to be able to follow those developments. Okay? So I don't think there is necessarily a merging of the two. It is one. Because it's your job. You are taken there to go and report and make it simpler, which is a very difficult thing that you learn over years. It's actually 22 years that I've been a journalist now. It's years and years of experience where you have to remember that you are not there for yourself. You are there because people trust you. Worse, you work for a public broadcaster, right? So you have a responsibility to take what is there. In the midst of taking selfies in the snow, take what is there, make it relevant to your audience back home.
Because we follow those discussions through you guys. We are not in the room.
And it is important as journalists to communicate the messaging in a way that is inclusive. People understand what is being said. One of the failures of financial journalism that I find in business journalism is that some have said that it is too elitist. Okay? It is us speaking to brokers and talking about currencies and
EBITDA.
bonds and EBITDAs. But we are not telling the people who are listening to us what those things means. So we sound very clever. I'll give us that. But are we sending the message to where it is going? So I have made it a point that I make sure that whatever story that I tell, does my mother understand it? Does my uncle understand? Do my friends at home also understand? When they say, "Yo, now we have before a TV," do they actually hear what I'm saying, or are they just excited to see me on TV? Did they hear that I said that Klaus Schwab said this at the World Economic Forum? Did they hear that I said that the IMF said this and what it means for them and what it is? And that is where the responsibility comes in. Precisely.
That's an interesting way to do a measure to say, does my mom understand this?
Yes. It's important because you can get carried away, Mpumi. You can get carried away with the jargon. And looking good.
Absolutely.
You can get carried away, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, when you are outside and doing an interview, right? And President Ramaphosa just had a big, for instance, meeting with business leaders, and you were privy to the contents thereof. Are you able to explain this to Mema Khumalo so that she answers appropriately? Are you able to say, this is what was discussed? What do you make of what was said? Which is where also I think I'm glad and so happy and blessed that with the gift of multilingualism, being able to speak different languages to different people in different settings because that is not something that everyone has.
Yeah.
But I have that, and I'm very grateful for that.
So you can speak in this language and still bring it home.
Yes.
In a language that they understand.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. And that is what I want to be known for.
Yeah.
You know, I really do not want to leave people behind.
Yeah.
I want to bring people with me along.
After the bulletin, we're like, huh?
Do you remember when we were growing up and when it was time for the markets? Right? This is where the time where you go and lock the gate.
Yes.
This is the time where you go
because
to wash the dishes.
You
because
know
you can't relate. Exactly.
Yes, it sounds out there.
You can't relate.
Yeah.
And I wish business and financial journalism could evolve to a point where people understand what those things mean. Yeah. If we're saying that the rand is stronger or it's weaker,
what it means.
What does it mean for your money today?
And in most cases, I mean, let's take the government pension fund. Let's take the PIC, right? That invests
people's funds
into these companies. Precisely. That when they issue their reports, the person on the street doesn't know.
Yet their money contributed.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Liabo, one of the things that I understand that you deal with, I mean, we touched a little bit on SMMEs that don't make it through, right? I suspect that you have encountered a lot of cases where you've seen that companies are liquidating, the owner is almost going crazy, and their mental space is
not okay.
Is not okay. And being the person that you are, and the fact that you are so invested in this work that you're doing, are you even able to separate yourself when someone comes to you, you've just spoken to them, or you know them, they're an SME, and they come and they say, you know, I'm shutting down, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have, and you can tell they're not in the right space. How do you deal with that?
As a very sensitive person, it almost gets written on your face that you've just heard bad news.
Yeah.
Okay, because when I was featuring you and you were doing well, you could also read it on my face about how when you saw me read that intro on air, you could see how excited I am. And you know, there is no bigger gift, Mpumi, than sometimes listening to a person, and not corrective listening. Not listening with the aim of wanting to give advice. I'm not a business coach.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not a funder. I'm a broadcaster. All I can give you is space and airtime. But I can also, having been in touch and in contact with you, I've also become somewhat of a friend. I can at least check up on you, even when the cameras stop rolling.
Yeah.
Check how you are doing.
How you doing?
There is so much power in listening to people and learning who they are besides them being an entrepreneur. You'll hear someone just mention something, oh, you know, my children, this and that. You can ask about what are your children's names and try to remember them, so that when you call them 2 days later, check up on them and you ask, how's Tabo doing?
Yes.
How's Ntabiseng doing? Those things, those small things, they uplift a person's spirit. You don't have to, this is a personal thing. I mean, we don't do things the same. You don't have to take an always professional approach when it comes to matters of health. You can still reach out to a person and let them know that you are there to at least listen.
Yeah.
And if a person says, there's no harm in sending 200 rand.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's human to human.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know how other people do it, but this is who I am.
Yeah.
Those who have encountered me, I think they can attest to who I am. And those who will be watching that podcast who know me, I can see them nodding. She's right.
That's her. Oh man, I'm just I'm just so inspired. I mean, I'm working on my own little thing.
Okay.
Let me not call it little. Let me not call it little.
You're working on a project.
I take that back.
Thank you.
I'm working on a project. I've been working on it for a couple of years in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my year of yes. This is my year where I'm saying yes to all the things that I've wanted to do. And that is one of the things that I'm seriously working on. Mm-hmm. Starting my own business.
Wow.
And I mean, that is why I'm an appointment viewer for SME on Point. Every now and then I'm like, hey,
thank you.
Show. Yeah.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
Thank you for starting a business.
Thank you.
We need more of businesses, and I wish you only the best.
Thank you so much. But thank you so much for coming through and sharing your unscripted journey.
Thank you.
Which was so heartwarming. And I really appreciate you taking the time out to drive and come through. And you're a sister.
I know.
And I love you dearly.
I
appreciate you. And thank you so much.
No, thank you. To have a platform like this for someone like me is really humbling, because you are always on the other side. And people never really know your story.
Yeah.
Right? Because the one thing about TV is that when people see you, they make TV and radio, let me be specific. People make assumptions about who you are, what you stand for. Even worse, when they see that your name is spelled this particular way, they already think
have decided
you are a different type of. And I'll tell you one story that always makes me laugh. I think it's someone that really likes me. Out there.
Okay, I hope you're watching.
No. And he noticed, I think, while I was on the air, that I have tattoos. And he wrote on our Facebook page about how disappointed he is that I have tattoo. He thought I was a respectable Mosotho woman. And so that is why I say about personalities. People think because they see this person and they create this image of you in their heads because they see you on TV for 15 minutes, right? And then one day they spot that you have a tattoo.
And then it's like,
and they're like, no, man, this is not the person I thought she was. It's almost like their world comes crashing down. So to have a platform where you can authentically speak about yourself in a truly unscripted way, whether there was mics or not, you would still get the same story from me. It's truly an honor. And thank you for choosing me. You could have chosen anybody, but you've chosen me. Thank you so much, Mpumi. I appreciate it. Thank you so
much. What a fascinating look behind the curtain. Liabo has reminded us today that success is not about the perfect broadcast. It's about how you recover when the script falls apart. Whether you're navigating the halls of the World Economic Forum or the streets of a township, her ability to stay authentic is what makes her reporting resonate with masses. Thank you so much for making time and sharing your insights with us and your work on SME on Point. And for those who do not watch SME on Point, please tune into SAPC and seek out SME on Point, and you will be inspired. Let's stay unscripted, and I will see you again next time. Thank you.